So, tell me what initially drew you to Peace Restored?
So I was drawn to Peace Restored out of my own frustration with the lack of resources where I lived.
Mm,
So I had realized that there was a lack of resources for childhood sexual abuse out
mm,
of my own story. And I was like, I want to help women who have experienced this. And there was nothing where I lived.
mhm,
And so I was telling my college roommate,
mhm,
well, my old college roommate at the time, about this. And she said, I think I have someone to introduce you to. And that person
mhm.
was Anne.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. So you were looking for yourself or you were looking because you wanted to help
I was
women?
looking because I wanted to help at
Okay.
that point. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that was kind of out of your own experience as well, though, of the frustration of not.
Yeah, because I went through my own healing process from childhood sexual abuse,
Mm,
and I realized at the time that there was just not really anything to help people in the situation I was in. Because I
mhm,
was 16 at the time when I started to understand and started to really heal from that. And then
mm,
basically from there, I knew once the Lord had really healed me from that, I knew that's what I wanted to do was work with women
mhm.
who had experienced something similar.
Okay. Can you share a bit about your journey with Peace Restored and how you became involved with the organization? I know you said your roommate introduced you to Anne, right?
Yeah, so she introduced me to Anne, and she did an email introduction, and then Anne and I talked on the phone for a an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it was,
Mm-hmm.
and in the course of that phone call, she said, "Would you like to come see Peace Restored?"
Mm-hmm.
And Peace Restored at the time, and still to this day, is 2.5 hours from where I live.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure, I'd like to come see it." So I came and saw Peace Restored when we were at 460,
Okay.
and there was one counseling room, and it was pretty
Yeah.
much just Ann at the time
Yeah.
and a couple, well, like a volunteer.
Okay. So Anne, a room and a volunteer.
Yes.
Wow, 2.5 hours for that.
And well, so so I came up here with my pastor and my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I left them to go in a car with Anne to hear her speak because, as we all know now, that's kind of how Anne rolls. So she had
Yeah.
that scheduled with me, and then she was like, I have to go speak at a church. Do you
You
want to
can
come
come.
with me?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I said, sure. And so I went and I heard Anne speak about Peace Restored. So I got a lot more of the story of Peace Restored from even just seeing it. And from there, I was pretty much just like, I want to be a part of this, no matter how I'm a
Yeah.
part of this.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, Anne and I just kept a relationship from there.
Yeah. That's very cool. Um, And so you started with that relationship and then became a volunteer, right?
Yes.
And then staff.
Yes. So I met Anne at the beginning of 2018. And when I met her the next day, because she talked about sharing her story, I actually shared my story
Hmm.
at my church. And then, like, I told her about that experience. And then from there, we just stayed connected
You
the whole
said that was
time.
the same weekend you met her, or like within the day of meeting her?
Yes.
That's incredible. Okay.
And then, so, yeah, I didn't think about how quick that is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, from there, in like just keeping in conversation later in 2018, early 2019, she called me and she said, "Do you want to volunteer at Peace Restored, just managing the blog, like getting writers and things like that?" And I said, "Sure."
You just kept saying yes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how this story goes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, I did that for a couple of years, and that was really fun. And then in 2020, she hired me to do communications, which is not my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
but I learned and I took classes and I did things just to make it better
Yeah.
for Peace Restored and so that I could learn because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't really know
I don't know what
100%
I'm
what I'm
doing, but
doing.
yes, I'll do it, and I'll learn to do it better. Yeah.
Yes, pretty much. That's how that went.
Yeah. That's great. In what ways do you feel personally fulfilled or enriched by your involvement here at Peace Restored?
Well, so I am now the client liaison. So
Mhm.
I get to interact with our clients a lot.
Mhm.
And I love being the first point of connection and just like seeing them kind of like
Mhm.
drop a mask or just feel more comfortable being
Mhm.
here and feeling cared for. I love when people
Yeah.
are like, I just feel something different here. I feel like they just feel loved and cared for. Like we have people who come and just hang out before a
Right.
session or, with their friend because they feel comfortable
Yeah.
and I love seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty great. You have a great role and you're really good at it.
Thank
It's
you.
it's always fun when people, I'm talking to people and they're like, "Oh, do I just need to reach out to Taylor for that?" The clients all know you and they're very comfortable working with you. But you're doing some additional it's there's kind of a rhythm. I feel like there's a pattern here, Taylor. And like there's a thing, oh, that grabs my attention, that grabs my heart. I don't know if I know how to do it or not. Let's go learn a thing, right? And so you're still doing that.
Hi, I wanted to interrupt this episode to share a little bit with you about Peace Restored. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Peace Restored is a non for profit, and we rely on support from people just like you. Did you know that if you donate as little as $2 a month, it could provide curriculum for a woman that we provide mental health care to? Or $4 a month would help us provide mental health care for a woman just like yourself or someone that you care about. So if you would consider supporting us in our mission, please go to our website at peacerestore.net. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I well, I did while I was the communications person, I got a mental health coach certification
Mhm.
during that time because I knew that's what I wanted to do eventually was something similar to that working with clients. I knew that.
Yeah.
And so I kept trying to, you know, um keep up with that.
Mhm.
And then recently, I started doing training for a community health worker, which is quite similar to the role I
Sure.
have.
Yeah.
But I'll be able to work more directly with clients one on one and just helping them build some life skills and
Mhm.
getting the resources they need, which is one of my favorite things to do.
The resources. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. Can you describe a specific moment or experience that kind of solidified your commitment to Peace Restored, where it's like I'm in, like these are my people, this is my place.
It was the first time I met Anne.
Really?
Yeah, so, after she spoke at the church, we were just I think we went to, like, Starbucks after or something,
Mhm.
and we were just talking, and she was sharing all the things, like, her heart for Peace Restored, what she wanted to do in the future, and she was talking about, just kind of the reason she wanted to start Peace Restored, like, the why behind it,
Yeah.
and I was just so drawn to that because I had
Mhm.
like I said, there was just such a lack of resources, and I was like,
Mhm.
"She's doing that, Peace Restored is doing that," so I was sold from the jump.
Yeah, the very thing that you set out that you were looking for, you wanted to be a part of. You heard her speak to those things and
Yeah,
like, okay, here we go. Let's do it. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. Is there a particular aspect of our approach or philosophy that you find especially, meaningful, insightful, something about being here that it just really, kind of lights you up, gets you excited?
So one thing I really love that we do is we have a collaborative care environment, and I just I've never experienced another model. I know
Mhm.
there's people on staff who have, but to
Mhm.
me, I see the collaborative care model, and I don't really
Mhm.
see how you can do it any other way,
Mhm.
honestly. I know you can, but it's
Right.
like, to me, I'm just, this makes sense. This is what we should do.
Yeah. It's kind of your primary language. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know if what does that mean? Can you describe what that means, what that looks like and what it means to you?
Yeah, so collaborative care means like we have all these people on the care team and we communicate really well together. So our clients are best served. We want to do as much as we can to take care of everyone. So, like, if someone's in a class or group and they're also doing individual work, those two people communicate. And then we have the case consultation once a
Mm.
month where we talk about different needs clients have and different ways we can encourage each other and just work together as best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. And you dig that, right? You like it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good. Um, how have you seen Peace Restored evolve and grow as an organization since you first became involved? I mean, it's funny reading that because we literally just said, well, it was a room and a volunteer and a
Yeah.
speaking engagement. So hey,
Yeah. So now what is it, 16 people on staff?
I think I lose count. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a whole care team. So I've seen the staff grow, the buildings grown, and we're even outgrowing the building we're in now,
We
which
are.
is exciting to
Yeah.
see. I love that. It's and even though we're outgrowing it, I think we make it work for the most
We
part.
do.
We
It's
do the best
amazing.
with what we have, and I think the Lord's really honored that, and
Mhm.
He's honored all the steps Peace Restored has been taking throughout the years. Because I, s- I was around since 2018, and then now
Yeah.
it's 2024. So it's just,
You've seen a lot.
yeah,
That's
it's
incredible.
it's been so fun to watch and just be a part of. I'm really thankful I get to be a part of it.
Yeah. In what ways do you feel that Peace Restored's impact and reach have expanded or evolved during your tenure with the organization?
So Peace Restored, I think, is a lot more known in not just the community Peace Restored is physically in,
Mm-hmm.
but known, like, across state lines. We're
Mm-hmm.
known about in other parts of the world, which
Mm-hmm.
I that's always really jarring to me.
Right. Like, how does that happen? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the knowledge of Peace Restored has grown. We're starting to be seen as a leader in the mental
Mm-hmm.
health space, and
Mm-hmm.
that has been incredible because I
Yeah.
mean, I think we do a good job.
Yeah. I do too. Yeah. Right. But when you start out small like that, it can be hard to get people to take you seriously. So to go from kind of fighting to be seen and heard in a way, not actually fighting, but just really working hard for that to being a leader. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I love that people see us and want to, like, talk to us about how they help people. They have just asked us to collaborate it outside of the
Yeah.
organization, just with other organizations, and
Yeah.
it's
You've had a couple
incredible.
of those meetings recently, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So what are some of your hopes and dreams, goals for yourself, but also for Peace Restored?
So I would like to see Peace Restored be just everywhere. I think that Peace Restored is needed all throughout the United States. I think it's needed in other countries. I just think I just see the benefit of Peace Restored. And while I know we can do like virtual things, I think I'd like to see physical locations or just satellite
Mhm.
locations potentially.
Yeah.
And just like we're the hub here, and
Yeah.
then we get to go out and like train like other facilities, and just keep going because we can only do so
Yeah.
much. And so, just for
Just
so many
keep
people
growing and
to get,
expanding.
yeah,
Yeah. Finding other people who have the same heart and passion that you described. And who knows, maybe someday we'll be a little closer to home for you.
maybe someday.
That'd be a nice dream, wouldn't it? That's a good dream.
Yeah.
Nice goal. Thanks, Taylor.